Hi, I'm Melissa Ferrer-Smith with Forward Thinking Leverage Solutions. Welcome to Tea Time with Missy. I'm so excited to have Deena Ebert with us. She is an international speaker, inspirational author. She's a coach. She deals with guiding businesses on emotional intelligence. She is an inspiration, collaborates with people in the business, and propels people to bring the feeling of, I love my job every day to work. Deena, thank you for joining us. Tell us, how are you doing during these times?
Well, first of all, I'm grateful to be included because these are crazy times. And I think I've been feeling a little bit separate from the rest of the world, which I also
Yes.
believe is a normal thing that
Yes.
people are feeling, is that sense of separation. So it's really nice to be included. And this is one of those little moments where you think, I get to be with you, I get to see you, we get to talk about things about which we're passionate. And that sense of inclusion is so vital. So what I'm doing is finding those moments where I feel included and then really cherishing those. So thank you for including me today.
You are so welcome. And I couldn't think of a better person than to bring you to talk about culture boost and transformation. You're known for radically moving massive audiences. And in helping businesses out there, wanted you to share a tidbit of how you do that. And so I'll start us off with our first questions. How are you interacting with people now to keep that positive momentum in a shifting environment?
Well, historically, what I've done is I've been out in the world and I've been on, like you said, relatively large stages. I work with anywhere from 50 to 5,000 people. So these days, we don't get together in that large of
Right.
groups. And so what I've been doing these days is looking at some of the small and subtle ways that we can connect people and reignite
Mhm.
the old school things that we have done that make people feel invited, engaged, connected, relevant, acknowledged, and like their gift is noticed and recognized. So a lot of what I'm doing these days are some of the really small and subtle things
Mhm.
that make a big difference.
Mhm. And how can leaders do more or have an impact during this time?
This it's a tough time to be sitting in the leader chair, I
Yes.
think, for
Yes.
a lot of leaders right now. There's tremendous responsibility. The playing field is shifting and changing constantly. And
Mhm.
I've been watching some of the leaders who I admire most
Mhm.
and seeing what they're doing. And I had a speaking engagement right before everything kind of shut down. And the leader stood up in front of a room of leaders, of really incredibly squared away, highly responsible people. And the senior leader stood up and he said, looked people right in the eye and said, the price of admission is participation. And that went right in my heart. And I think about that every day. And I looked not just at him, but I looked at everybody in the room when it sunk into their brains that as leaders, the price of admission is participation, which means for me as a leader, you have an opportunity to participate in the experience of the people that you serve.
Mhm.
And it's not just, putting out a boilerplate message. It's being situationally aware, noticing the nuances of different, groups, different teams, different places, different roles, and even individuals. And precisely finding a way to meet people where they stand.
Mhm.
I think so much of leadership is understanding your purpose
Right.
and knowing that you've got this terrific opportunity right now. And it might feel for some people like we've got so many opportunities,
Right.
but you have a terrific opportunity to step up and say, this is my time to be compassionate, engaged, thoughtful, focused, and understand that I can build a relationship with the people that I serve. And
Mhm.
those particular conditions may not have existed 2 months ago or 3 months ago, but right now people are really open to it. So I think that that's a super big opportunity for leaders.
Mhm.
Is that
If there's a
participation?
few things that you would recommend for a leader to be doing with a team remotely, what would that be?
I think the first thing that you can do, is really find ways to be an authentic listener and terrifically engaged. It may be something as simple as just sending out a note that says, "How are ya? Do you want to holler? Do you want to be quiet? Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to send you an email? How can I meet you in a way, shape, and form that is comfortable for you?"
Mhm.
Um, and then let people be authentic. Let them be unvarnished. Let them tell their truth. Also, right now, everybody is looking at new technology, new ideas. How can we? What will we? Where do we? And you may, as a leader, find that you have someone on your front line who's not a proven performer, but that person has an idea. And that idea, if you give them an unbroken stretch of road and say, run with it, show me, you've got a great idea, go, let's see what it is. I think leaders may find that their frontline teams are going to come up with some magnificent stuff. So share the responsibility and invite people in.
Deena, when you get that call from a company who says, I need your help, we need to change the way we do business, which is a little bit of the outlook of what organizations are faced with during this time. How do you fuel that business, that organizational culture?
The first thing I try to do when I get on a call is what I just recommended that leaders do, is I listen. As I say, tell me, take me on a tour of what you've got going on. And I have a little superhero skill. I can type as fast as you can talk. So I listen and then I type and then I get all of those notes. What I really want to find out is, what do you have right now? What are you excited about? What do you brag about? If I were going to walk with you through your organization, what would you point out and say, you know what? That's great right over there. I love how that's working. And this is something that we did that we're really proud of. And this particular team has just a fantastic way of communicating. And we're really making a difference in the world here. I want to see all of that. I want to know what you are proud of, because then we just find more of that. I'm not the kind of person who wants to work under pain points.
Right.
I want to work on bringing more of the good stuff that you've got. And then just when we have the things that aren't working, just let it go. And then in that space, put in more of the good stuff. So a virtual tour makes a big difference right away.
So what do you do to trigger the process to get them ignited and fired up?
I think that, sometimes people feel culturally that they have wanted to make a contribution. They're usually really happy and excited when they finally realize, hey, now is our time. So people want their voice to be heard. So usually what I do is I started off with individuals communicating with other individuals, talking about what matters to them most. The conversation around individual values is how we start a discussion that supports our corporate values. So I do something called a values session, where we self-evaluate what's important to us as an individual. Then we establish a sense of curiosity and interest in what other people value. And then we look at where we have congruencies and find out how to translate that into a way to serve us as individuals, as partners, as teammates, and as members of the corporate community.
How do you leave a footprint for culture to shift?
I'm still learning that, because I haven't gotten to go out on the road for a couple of months. So I'm trying to find, how can I make an impact even if I can't get up next to you and look you in the eyes, and hear your voice and feel the energy. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm just trying to keep people talking, keep people thinking, keep people's minds doing creative things. So I wrote a little book a few years back, and I'm revisiting the book and doing video pieces around it to bring the content from the time it was written into contemporary conversations, so we can have what I like to call water cooler conversations. Might not be congregating around the water cooler anymore, but there's beauty in keeping our brains really active. And I do something called consideration challenges
Mhm.
that inspire people to talk and be just interested in each other and get back to that, I said before, the basic
Mhm.
of human discovery.
Mhm.
If we've got a process that's set up for that, if I know you and I know what's important to you, and I learn a little bit about where we're similar and how we're different, and we establish a respectful interaction around that,
Mhm.
then you and I are all of a sudden teammates. And when a problem comes barreling our way, we can join forces together, whether we're physically in the same space or not, and we're stronger together. We're not meant to do this alone. So finding ways to keep people connected, even if the conversations seem goofy
Mhm.
or heartfelt or insignificant, um, tying that to current events
Mhm.
and keeping people talking gets everybody on the same team, which I think is important.
Mhm. Any other message? We're coming, Tana, to the conclusion of our call. Anything else that I may have missed in asking or that you want to convey to businesses out there in having that culture transformation?
Be gentle with yourself. We're all learning so much so fast, and we're working really hard.
Mhm.
So be gentle. Do all the things, get ready, have big dreams, learn a bunch, try really hard, and then balance out that with some kindness. Go outside and take a walk. Throw the
Mhm.
ball for your dog. Call
Mhm.
someone on the phone that you love. Do something goofy. Be good to yourself. You know, that self-care I think is really powerful, especially for leaders and teams coming together to be successful.
What I would say, audience, please go to Propellergirl website and we will be posting that. And you will see her in action with her live and massive audience. She does a great job. Deena, thank you so much for your time and expertise. Viewers, as we post this video, feel free to pose your questions. You can connect directly with Deena on LinkedIn. We will be answering those questions. For me, with Forward Thinking Leverage Solutions, my business has to do with designing a strategy. And nowadays, it could be as simple as a step-by-step process. The key is, how do we highlight a business unique strength during this time? And Deena can help with employee retention and job satisfaction and helping businesses flourish. So simply put, Deena helps people propel and gives that feeling of, I love my job, that spirit of I love my job, and bringing that attitude to work every day. Deena, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I think you are a remarkable woman. You're one of my favorite thought leaders, and I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. So thank you for including me in the conversation.
Thank you, Deena. And to our viewers, we wish you well. Stay safe.